first little part. We don't want to make them suffer. I don't know how much longer they even get to listen. Okay, there you go. So here's what happens. Thank you, Texter 8047. Appreciate that. So, Carlik Jones, press conference. First thing he's asked about, Malik's evaluation of Carlik Jones. And then I'm just telling.
I hadn't heard this one yet.
I'm just passing along to the people some of the things that were said and asked. And these are the things that stick out in my mind. I want to know what it makes you think when you hear these things. First question, Malik or Carlik Jones is asked. Malik Williams kind of compares you to an Allen Iverson type of player.
That's a high praise right there. I mean, that makes you feel good.
But as soon as my antennas went up, the natural question happened. Brian, when you were not here, there was a your texter knows what I'm talking about. There was a small slight beef that occurred, right? And before I move forward, I'm going to ask you the question that was asked to your replacement producer. Is your replacement producer even allowed to talk about the debate between LeBron James and Michael Jordan if they were born?
Did Jack bring that up?
Jack was in here. You know what he said to me? You want to know what Jack said to me when you were gone?
Oh, I have no idea where this is going.
He said, I can debate LeBron James and Michael Jordan because I saw The Last Dance and YouTube. I said, Jack.
Oh, hold on.
I said, Jack, have you ever watched a full game? And I'm talking about. I
didn't even factor in Jack's age.
He was born in like 96.
He never even saw Jordan.
He never even saw Jordan.
No, you can't. You have no right to make the. You can't make an argument if you did not see the Jordan era.
YouTube.
You got to be at least 30 before you can make an argument about
YouTube?
Jordan or LeBron.
He was like, I've seen highlights.
No, you got to be at least 30.
Minimum 30. Okay,
30.
Okay, 30 would put you born in what? Was 1990.
So you got to see the 90s Jordan.
Golly, that's still
pushing.
That's really put. You
got to be what?
Okay, if you're 30, your parents have got to be like basketball heads, because they could have you at birth. You know what I'm saying? They could have you at your earliest ages where you start 6, 7, 8. You know what I'm saying? They could have you so locked in.
I missed a little bit of the 80s. So, like, I was born in, well, we don't usually do ages, but we're going to do it for this. I was born in 87. So, I mainly saw the Jordan era, but I was old enough to, the 90s Jordan era, but I was old enough to, know what was going on. And honestly, I was more of an NBA fan than I was a college fan when I was a little kid, because I was growing up watching Patrick Ewing and Reggie Miller.
Right.
And all those guys, and the NBA was great at that time.
Your first foray into the NBA world was Jordan, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I still to this day, have a life-size cardboard cutout of Michael Jordan in my bedroom.
I mean, what percentage of how much can you learn about Jordan through? I said, how many full games have you watched in your life, right? And
he said 0.
No, he said like 10, which I don't believe.
No way.
I don't believe he watched 10.
You don't go watch 10 YouTube videos of one player.
I know. You didn't watch 10 full games. You haven't watched 10 full Michael Jordan games on NBC. You just didn't do it. But
no,
I gave him 10, right? And I said, even if you did watch 10 games, that ain't nothing.
No, it's a small sample.
We can't debate Jordan, LeBron. So yeah. So point being, that was what your replacement was in here arguing with me about.
See, the thing is like, you can't do it off 10 games because, and his argument was that he watched The Last Dance. And I will say that The Last Dance did a pretty good job of, showing you stuff, but not his actual game film. I mean, this guy was like a SportsCenter top 10 every 2 days.
But You just don't know. But here's the problem. Here's the problem with The Last Dance, and here's the problem why you can't argue with Jack about YouTube and The Last Dance. And I heard Nick Wright. He said yes. Do you have that clip from Nick Wright?
Is this the one on Instagram yesterday?
Yeah.
Give me 1 sec.
Okay. Texter. You had to be in the moment at least a little bit. A little bit. So here's what happens. Nick Wright makes this point. And I'm not going to do the either or. I can just give him goats, and I can call them kings and goats and mambas. And somebody had a meme about that, and I was perfectly fine with that. I'm perfectly fine saying king is king, the goat is goat, the mamba's the mamba. I'm not arguing with you about it. Again, especially if your information comes from Last Dance and YouTube. So Nick Wright did something.
I'll have it for you in a sec. Instagram's having a struggle right now.
Oh, okay. And it had a bit of a sting to it. It had a small bit of a sting to it, and it's one of those. To me, I'm comfortable with the everybody can be right. Like I don't mind. I don't passionately get into that debate because I can do that with basket. I don't want to separate talking basketball, talking detailed basketball with, but what he did for the game and what he did for the sport and what LeBron is doing just, for the community, and he's changing the game with the agents. He's doing all that. Nick Wright definitely has to be 30. If he's not, Nick Wright still gets a little pass because he's a historian, a detailed historian. Jack is not. Jack Grossman is not detailed.
I will have this clip for you in a sec. For some reason, Instagram's the only website that I can't pull up right now.
Oh no!
Give me just a sec.
Would it be easier if you screen grabbed it and sent it to the thing?
Yeah, I might be able to. Hold on 1 sec.
Okay, so I'll just kind of get back into the conversation. The natural thing that happens is Malik Williams is comparing Carlik Jones to Allen Iverson. And I'm like, while I do enjoy, I thoroughly enjoy the comparison. I'm like, ain't y'all just some babies? What is your cross section? This is why lack of context is so dangerous in the world. And this is why I never wanted to do ages, but sometimes I just trap people in ageism.
Okay, I found it, but give me 1 sec because it's a 4-minute clip. I'm going to try to get it down to the one that you sent me.
Okay. When he talks about the career. Okay, I can kind of hear it a little through. Okay, but here's the thing. They're young. So I'm thinking, what highlights of Allen Iverson could Malik Williams be using in his mind?
I got it.
To say that, okay, what I want to ask you, I want you to listen to it first, Brian. I want the part where he says, he starts off by saying something like, Larry Bird was in the league when Larry Bird was the best player when Jordan came in.
I think this is it.
Okay. Go ahead.
The Jordan people will remain Jordan people, which, if you think about it, is really hilarious that, LeBron didn't move that much in their eyes. All he did was win the championship because it's never been about logic or fairness or looking at the game. It's about holding on to the nostalgia and history. But I have a very quick question for Chris Broussard. Broussard, how much did these finals hurt Jimmy Butler's legacy? Since we're talking legacy, how much did they hurt Jimmy?
Don't answer this nonsense.
It's a trap.
I don't think it hurt it. It helped it. What are you talking about?
It helped it. Hold on. Jimmy Butler,
yes. Did it.
Hold on.
Fell for it.
Broussard, he's now 0-1 in the finals.
No,
I think Giannis came out of these playoffs a lot better. Giannis, 0 finals losses. Jimmy Butler, finals loss. The single worst thing you can do. Single worst thing you can do in the playoffs. Right. The worst thing. I feel bad for Jimmy because I thought he played well. But the legacy just tanks now. Sucks.
What I want is LeBron and AD.
Let me keep looking. Hold on.
Oh, no, okay, no. The next one.
We're not jealous of each other.
Okay, what I want you to do.
If they can keep.
Pause it. What I want you. I didn't want to do this. He says something about Jordan being a loser, right?
Let me keep looking. Hold on.
Okay, yeah, but it is the Nick Wright clip where he talks about Jordan's career. So the point they're making, people, while Brian's trying to find that, is Nick Wright says Larry Bird was the best player in the NBA when Jordan got there. Nick Wright also points out before Scottie Pippen gets there, he said Jordan wasn't even a 500 record team. His team never won. They were never better than a 500 record. And he says, it just kind of, it was irritating me, but it was kind of like, I'm not getting drug into this debate. And Nick Wright says, it was really funny though. He says, if you cut Jordan's whole career to his 6 championship years, he was like, yes, he has the perfect resume. But he was like, Larry Bird was the best player. He said, guess how many playoff wins Jordan has against Larry Bird? 0. Guess how many he has against Kareem or like you get the point. He starts kind of calling out like people can't just say Jordan's career is just the 6 championships. And that was the problem with Jack Grossman. It was funny, but Jack Grossman and the conversation of The Last Dance is like, that's all you know is 6 years of championship. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's all you know, then you don't know nothing. You don't know the struggles. Like, you don't really know anything. Okay, so anyway, does Malik Williams know anything about
I think this is it.
Allen Iverson?
I've always, to quote the great Michelle Obama,
Yeah.
I've always tried to go high when others go low. I have always tried to run a positive campaign, a campaign celebrating the greatness, opposed to what I'm about to have to do right now, which is tell you what Chris Broussard and his ilk, what the media does not want you to know about Michael Jordan. Because here are some facts. Before Scottie Pippen got there, a total and complete loser. Not just never got out of the first round, not just 1-9 in the playoffs, never even above 500 in the regular season. Can I have point number 2, please? Larry Bird, the best player when he walked into the league. You know how many times Michael beat Larry in the playoffs? I don't mean in a series. I mean in a single playoff game. The answer to that is 0. But wait, there's more. In Jordan's entire career, there were 3 super teams in the East. The Celtics, the Pistons, and the Magic. His career playoff series record against those 3 teams, 2-6. But against everybody else, 23-1. Speaking of the East, which Chris Broussard mentioned in regards to LeBron James, once the Pistons were gone, do you know how many teams in the East, Jordan's entire title run, had more than one Hall of Famer? 1. The team Michael was on.
Okay, that's
he
enough.
had
That's
Pippen,
enough. That's just
and then he had
stop.
Pippen and Rodman.
I'm not going to do full slander. It sounds like slander, right? But the point.
Reaching.
But listen, the point I was making with that is only a person who knows the whole picture would know to even have that argument. And you would have to know somebody that knows Larry Bird used to waste Jordan too. So
Yeah, you had to see it.
yeah, like that's an argument. And like, so that's why you're like, dude, king is king, goat is goat.
Hey, but to his credit, Larry Bird was in his prime when Jordan was like a rookie.
No, that's what I'm saying. But like that point is okay, right?
Yeah.
But again, don't get drug in the mud with the debate. But there is more than 6 years with Jordan, just like we can criticize, LeBron up close. It's like it's a great conversation to people who understood the magnitude of everything, not just look. I seen your face light up, and somebody over there going crazy. I can handle this one. Lawrence, thanks for joining us on 93.9 Fireworks.
Let's talk Louisville basketball.
First off, Morris, I just gotta say Nick Wright is a clown. Yeah.
I figured I didn't want to get everybody worked up, but yeah, fire away.
Also, too, Malik Williams compared Carly Jones to Allen Iverson. If that's the case, then Carly has no problem crossing over his man, getting to the rim easy. Because basically that's what Allen Iverson did every time. Crossed his man over and got to the rim. Like, he had the best crossover in the game at that time. And plus, I saw him at Georgetown. He was that good. He used to, average like 26, 47 points a game?
Let me ask you this, Lawrence. How much of Allen Iverson do you think Malik Williams has seen?
Shoot. He probably never saw him in college. He probably saw him at close to the end of his career. How old is Malik Williams? Well, he was born 2000?
Right. Listen,
he probably watched 10 of his games on YouTube.
I appreciate the call, Lawrence. If Malik is what, 22? If Malik is 22 because he's a senior, that would at 7 years old.
He would have been born in 98.
No, later than that.
99?
No.
He's 22.
98.
It's 2020.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Wait a minute. He's probably not 22 though. How old is Malik? Darn it! I can't believe we went down a complete rabbit hole of ages. Where was Allen Iverson? Type in Allen Iverson.
Okay, so Malik Williams was born in 1998. He is 22 years old. Allen Iverson's career.
No. This is what I want to do.
Let's see.
Put him. Listen, in 2006, where was Allen Iverson? Because that's where Malik would have been able to see him with his own eyes and kind of like start copying Allen Iverson.
2006 was his last year with Philly.
Really? So Malik, he might know a little Allen Iverson.
So mid-season of the 2006-2007 season was when he went to Denver.
Okay.
And then he finished at Denver and Memphis.
If at 8 years old, Malik Williams saw Allen Iverson, Carmelo, and J.R. Smith was on those Denver teams, golly, oh
my gosh, when you look at Iverson in his prime,
I was crushing wheat with my Denver Nuggets team in 2K.
I will say this: so he saw 2 to 3 good years before then he started getting into the 12 to 13 points a game.
Yep.
But let me read this to you from 96 to 2006. Listen to these numbers: averaged 23.5 points his rookie year. 22 his second year, 27, 28, 31, 32, 27, 27, 30, 33, 31, 26, 31. Those are the points that he averaged in those years.
So, but yeah, my point was Malik would have only saw Denver.
End of the era.
Yeah, Denver, Allen Iverson.
Detroit, Memphis.
Where else did he go? Detroit?
So he went from 06 to 07, everything before he was in Philly. In 06-07, he played part of the season with Philly and then part of it with Denver. Then the next year he played with Denver. Then the next year he was half Denver, half Detroit. And then the last year he was half Memphis and then back to Philly to end his career.
I hate that Malik had to watch Memphis Iverson and Detroit Iverson. It's like, ugh, yuck. But
not the same player.
Not the same player at all. But
not the same Philadelphia 76er.
I hope that Malik Williams is just a basketball, aficionado, that he just knows his history and he just, maybe, you know what? He's the oldest of a bunch, right? He's probably an old soul too.
I just forgot how good he was, man. Like, even those numbers I just read off to you about the points, all those years he averaged over somewhere between 5 and 8 assists.
He's 6 foot. He's 6 foot.
Yeah, he was 6 foot.
He was 6 foot. Malik called him Iverson. Yeah, I'm 25. Okay, Texas says, I am 25. If you like the NBA, you watched AI and Melo. Yeah, because they were the young, exciting team. Like I said, I used Melo for about 3 years straight with Denver. I had a good. Texas says, talk about a dog. Nuggets Iverson and Philly Iverson ain't on the same planet. Yeah, fair enough. Larry Bird had 3 Hall of Famers. Yeah, like I said, I didn't want to. I didn't want to go so far down the Jordan. Like I said, I just wanted the acknowledgement that you had to see both players' stains as well as their, the things you loved about them. In order to have a real conversation, I have to be able to identify Jordan's flaws, Jordan's, and LeBron's flaws together.
And the person doesn't get the full effect of the good and the bad. They get the highlights. Yeah,
right. Like if you weren't around when they were calling Jordan a gunner, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. His early career, he was a gun. That's what they were saying. But in hindsight, big picture, now we say, okay, he gunned because he was more competitive than everybody. Yeah. But yeah, you don't know that punk.
Exactly.
Yeah. So here's what we'll do. We'll get back to the press conference and I'll get into the real deal analysis. I'll give you people what you learned yesterday that you don't know you learned. Middays with Marcus Maven on 939 The Ville.
Have you been in a car wreck? Insurance companies can be really tough to deal with on your own. I'm Sam Aguiar, and our team is here to help. We have been fortunate enough to represent thousands of people from Kentucky communities, and we would love to speak with you about your potential case. Our team loves what we do. The consultation for you is free, and we don't charge you anything unless we win the case for you. So come be a part of our team. Our phone number is easy, 502-888-8888. 502-888-8888.
The 2020 election is underway in Kentucky. Record voter turnout is expected, and counties have a limited number of polling places. So how can you avoid crowds and social distance? By voting early. Vote in person October 13th through November 3rd, including Saturdays. Voting early is the same as voting on Election Day. When you vote, Kentucky wins. Paid for by the Kentucky State Board of Elections.
Baltimore Ravens football plays here on ESPN Louisville.
Jackson takes the snap, ahead of the play clock, fires to the end zone. He's got a touchdown. Mark Andrews.
Lamar Jackson and the Ravens hit the road this weekend to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Pre-game coverage begins at 12:30 with kickoff at 1 on 93.9 The Ville. Ravens football on ESPN Louisville is presented by Liquor Barn, Body Armor Sports Drink, and Molly Malone St. Matthews, home of the Raven.
We are proud to partner with our favorite go-to caffeinated beverage, Focus. Not Focus with an F, but with a PH.
When the reality of COVID-19 hit, our friends at Focus donated over 200,000 cans of Focus to nearly 400 hospitals across the U.S. to keep those on the front lines fueled.
And good news, now you can find Focus at more Kroger's, Thornton's, Liquor Barn, and Party Mart, as well as all the usual spots like Rainbow Blossom, Heine Brothers, Paul's Fruit Market, and CVS.
Or save 15% when you use code ESPN15 at www.drinkfocus.com. Focus, Phocus. Try it today.
Mark Ennis here, telling you about my friends at Bosch Lawn Care. For the past few years, I've trusted Bosch Lawn Care with my yard maintenance at my house. That's mowing, weed eating, trimming bushes, cleaning mulch installation, and much more. Get yourself out of hours of work in the yard when you could be kicking back and enjoying time with your family and friends. Call 833-2GET-CUT. That's 833-243-8288, or visit them online at BoschLawnCare.com. Trust the lawn experts I trust. They're professional, affordable. Bosch Lawn Care.
The autumn leaves are already falling. Soon the holidays will be here. Skip the holiday rush and visit Shane Company today for extraordinary gifts in every price range. As your friend in the jewelry business, we're going above and beyond to make shopping safer. In our store, we're taking extra precautions, including temperature screenings, mandatory masks, and social distancing. We've also installed a new air purification system. Why not enjoy a Sunday drive to see our huge selection of fine jewelry? Experience the sparkle of our diamonds the vivid colors of our sapphires, our lustrous pearls. You'll both see and feel the quality of our superior craftsmanship. You can also book an appointment with the jewelry consultant and meet either virtually or in store. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
When you are buying or selling a home, you have a ton of questions that need to be answered. Well, what if I could answer those questions with 3 simple words? Call Josh Jarbo. Josh specializes in residential real estate, getting buyers the home of their dreams and sellers top dollar for their home with the best negotiating skills in the industry. And if you tell him you heard about him right here, you'll receive up to a $5,000 seller's credit. So contact Josh Jarbo today at 502-216-7590 or joshjarbo@remax.net.
Louisville football travels to South Bend Saturday as the Cards take on Notre Dame. And ESPN Louisville is your pre- and post-game headquarters.
Cunningham on the run, and he is in. Touchdown!
Join Pat Jaggers and Taylor Lynch at 12:30 for the Coors Light pregame show. And then directly following the Cards and Irish, it's the Coors Light postgame show with Mark Ennis. And it's all on 93.9 The Ville. We're the first place in town that will take your calls and hear live from Scott Satterfield.
Here's what you missed on The Drive with Mark Ennis.
John Grenard was a pretty average recruit. You got to find that guy because, he changes Louisville as an edge rusher completely last year if he stays here. I do think personnel is by far the largest issue, and I think it's front 7 personnel is the largest issue. They're not disruptive. They're not hard to block. They rely on blitzing far too much, and then even their blitzers are not great.
The Drive, weekdays 3 to 6 on 93.9 The Ville.
Baltimore Ravens football plays here on ESPN Louisville.
Jackson takes the snap, ahead of the play clock, fires to the end zone. He's got a man, he's got a touchdown. Mark Andrews.
Lamar Jackson and the Ravens hit the road this weekend to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Pre-game coverage begins at 12:30 with kickoff at 1 on 93.9 The Ville. Ravens football on ESPN Louisville is presented.
Say one more time, what was it?
Armor Sports Drink and Molly Malone St. Matthews, home of the Raven.
Hey, all you sports fans and dog lovers out there, Brian Hall here. When it's time for the big game, big fans need big TVs. And sometimes you may even want to bring your dog. And at Double Dogs, you can do both and even satisfy those big appetites. With choices like Black Angus burgers, wings tossed in homemade sauces, and dog bowl nachos. Double Dogs will make sure you get the fuel you need at lunch or dinner while never having to miss a game. So whether you have 2 legs or 4, you can cheer on and chow down at Double Dogs, located in the Middletown Commons.
This is Drew Diener, and you're listening to 93.9 The Ville, live from the OPC Services Studio.
Chicken, chicken, chicken haters. 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 Chicken, chicken, chicken haters.
Middays with Marcus Maben on 93.9 The Ville is broadcasting live from the OPC Pest Services Studio. Now, here's Marcus Maben and Steve Rummage.
Welcome back. Welcome back. It's Middays with Marcus Maben. 8150. 93.9 is the number. 93.9 is the station. Did everybody get a good giggle out of that one? I love that. Did people from my era get a good smile wherever you are in your office place, in your car? Did that just give you a little?
I don't know if it did them, but it did me.
We all realized how ridiculous and how funny and how much of a good time we had listening to this song.
Yeah.
And this was back when videos were a major part of your music world. We loved seeing them sitting in their cars arguing back and forth. Girl, I had to buy some rims for the cat. So anyway, conversation, comparison. We went totally down a dark hole of Jordan and LeBron conversation because it just made me think Malik Williams' comparison of Carlik Jones to Allen Iverson made me just just kind of think about, what age group, what window, would lead him to make that comparison. But the point is still, Malik Williams is comparing Carlik Jones to an Allen Iverson.